Troutmoon Press. What is and what may be. Observations of fact in the true nature of being by O. Jefferson Jones. And again with more from What is and what may be by Orland Jefferson Jones. Chapter 4. What this may necessarily mean. So now we know there is a connection beyond our everyday three dimensions between minds that are deeply entangled, or perhaps more narrowly sometimes, between minds that are simply harmonic to each other in one way or another at some point. What may this mean? 1. We have minds, patterns of memories, thought, and awareness of the world around us, of others, and of ourselves. 2. We communicate with other minds through language, conscious and unconscious. 3. We try to understand others by taking their patterns of being into our own minds to some extent. 4. Sometimes we encounter someone who, by happenstance of genetics or experience, has such similar patterns of mind in some narrow area of being that we feel naturally attuned to them, at least in that one respect. 5. Sometimes we truly love someone by taking in over time, soaking up in a broad fashion, their true patterns of being as we observe, sense, and experience them. By taking them in as rightly as we can, just as they are, to live somehow as an echo, a sculpture, a story, a work of the art of the loving of them, inside the patterns of our own minds, we become entangled. So we have minds, complex, self-perpetuating, and evolving systems of patterns that represent the world around us and our thoughts about this world, and even our thoughts about our thoughts. Into the patterns of our minds we can carry representations and recognitions of the patterns of other minds, acquaintance, simpatico, friendship, love. We are alone, it seems, as if these connections by mingling of patterns were dead things, or like shadows of higher things. But they are not dead, at least not always, so say the facts presented. This is real. Patterns of a mind closely attuned to another mind or group of minds can receive meaningful information at a distance. Not by radio frequencies or biochemical signals, no, but through a non-local physical effect. Patterns that our mind therefore appear to in some way extend through what we see as three-dimensional space. In higher dimensions, it could be that entangled patterns of mind are simply coordinate, or in other words, simply in continuing physical contact through these other dimensions, keeping in touch, as it were. Other dimensions and entanglement at a three-dimensional distance are already recognized as part of our physical universe. More to the point, however, and significantly, we can see that some minds sometimes, perhaps all minds occasionally, and potentially all minds at some time, are connected or connectable or coordinate through higher dimensions. And therefore they are, in a sense, a true sense, a more complete sense of the universe as it is, one. Not in three dimensions alone, but in the full dimensionality of the universe. Imagine the fingertips of your hand just emerging through the surface of water from beneath. Each fingertip a reef, then an island, and yet each contiguous and connected and all of one flesh. Such are the minds, all the minds, all the minds of all the sentient beings in the universe. If the facts presented before are true, and they are, then the patterns of being we call minds connect and coordinate through the sub-basement of the universe. At least my family's minds did on that day, at that moment. And we are not unique, not materially different from you or the other beings in the universe in any way. So we all can connect. But how do we connect? Perhaps we are simply connected all the time, and once in a while we notice it. Such apparent duality also has precedent in our understanding of physics. The same pattern that resolves the appearance of action at a distance, that the distant points are coordinate through a higher dimension, would resolve this question so as to say that we simply are connected, always coordinate through a higher dimension. The human mind, or any sentient mind for that matter, can, in an imperfect but nonetheless real way, actually detect this non-local connection and see through the hyperdimensional plumbing, through the hidden sub-basement of the universe, sometimes. Think about that a minute. A hyperdimensional connection, continuity, a oneness deep inside, not as some philosophical abstraction, but as an actual physical fact. Not that others are one with you. You are not the center, nor are they the center. You are not any less an individual being, but you and others are in some way, at some level, deep inside the universe, one flesh, one with something else that consists of all of us, connectable, connected. We actually are, in a concrete physical way, part of a great universal constellation or connection of minds. Explains a thing or two, doesn't it? And it appears to be a fact. So that is what is. And given what is, what then may be, what very likely may be. From shocking personal experience, at odds with everyday reality, on a foundation of undeniable fact cemented by reason, the writer clarifies a compelling vision of the true nature of being. In this writer's magnetic field of clarity, you may recognize a landscape so old and true that you feel it in your ancestors' bones. What is and what may be. Search for the Android app book by Trout Moon, Incorporated, on the Android markets, and it's coming to an e-book retailer near you